The reason I quit sugar was all the videos I was watching on YouTube. And I wondered, would it really make a difference? And also the questions people are asking me. I kept hearing about how inflammation affects the whole body. For quite some time, when bending over, it was difficult for me to inhale. I just thought my fat stomach was pushing against my lungs. But as it might be, now I can bend over easier. I inhale, but I would have never thought inflammation would have had something to do with that. I've not really been that overweight, maybe 215. I'm about 5'10". But I also noticed that getting up off the couch, before I was putting my hands on my knees to stand up. 3 weeks, I no longer have to do that. And it's got to be the inflammation. So what do I do now? And there were other changes taking place. There was pretty much mobility taking place throughout my body. And now my coffee. As for my coffee, I cannot get used to black coffee. I had coffee with cream. I tried bulletproof coffee. It was a little better, but still wasn't for me. And I've never really been a fan of hot tea, but I did start drinking hot tea in the morning with lemon and a little bit of honey from our beehives. And that seemed to satisfy me pretty well. When I do have coffee, I'll just cut that part out. And Kim has a hard time with coffee with no cream and no sugar. But I think eventually she'll get there. She'll find what works for her. And I have been doing intermittent fasting. And that is not near as hard as I thought it would be. During the period of time where I can eat, I do have coffee with heavy whipping cream. I can do that. And on the fasting note, my hours are kind of crazy, but it might work to my benefit for what I'm doing. I get up at 3:45 in the morning. I'm at work by 5. I'm usually home by noon or 1. I have supper in the afternoon now at 3 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock. Because for my hours that I keep, we were eating at 5, watch TV for 2 hours, go lay down at 7 and lay in bed for an hour and a half, and then go to sleep. So now we've bumped our eating time up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Afterwards, I've got several hours to get back up, get outside, get active, even if it's just walking around, to help your food digest and not just laying there until I wake up the next morning. Makes sense, huh? So I'll eat at 3, and the next morning I usually will fast until 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, which has been a lot easier than I thought. And what I take to work, have I cut sugary stuff out? Yeah, for the most part. It's hard to avoid all sugar and stuff, but I try to keep it below 5 grams with one exception. I like dark chocolate, and feel like the benefits of the antioxidants in dark chocolate outweighs the 9 grams of sugar in that. And I just eat one little square a day. For work, I take grapes, a banana, an apple, sometimes a hard-boiled egg, and I usually come home with one of those left in my lunchbox. I get home, I'll sit down, I'll grab a handful of walnuts. Um, Usually not much more than that. Maybe eat whatever I didn't eat out of my lunchbox. A lot of times I save the banana because I love banana and peanut butter, and I love Kroger Natural peanut butter. Ingredients: peanuts and salt. Um, so in that window, uh, I do watch carbs. And then, that's another thing that's hard to avoid. But the benefits of the fasting, uh, it's just, back up. The fasting really has not been that difficult to do. I would love to encourage you all to give both of these things a try. I don't drink many soft drinks at all ever, unless I'm just someplace that I get weak and I'll have a soft drink or something, but not very often. I really like carbonated water, so that's another plus in my book, because you do need to drink the water. So questions I get asked are about the fruit. Have I cut out sugar altogether? Am I following a specific diet plan? And I'm really not. I'm just trying to be smart about what I'm choosing to eat. I avoid things that normally, if we were at a granddaughter's birthday party, a grandson's birthday party, and there's extra cake, Kim will get some, and she always slides the rest my way. I haven't experienced that yet. I haven't been in that situation, but in the past, I've always been really weak at that. And you got to have self-discipline doing this. But again, it just outweighs the benefits so much. My energy level is so much higher. I carry myself different. I walk different. I think I walk more upright than I did. Joint. They move just so much easier. I'm also a big believer in stretching, which I did prior to no sugar. And I don't think the fasting has anything to do with that. I think it's the sugar and the inflammation. I still stretch, but it's not an effort. I'm able to stretch further. I just feel so much better. And there's just really a certain amount of mental clarity that comes to me just from that alone. And people want to know, am I doing the keto? Am I doing the Atkins? There's things that are similar, but no, I'm not doing any one particular thing. I do watch some videos on some of that stuff and what some of these doctors talk about. And one thing I've really learned is the benefit of lemons is huge. I really encourage you to look for Dr. Alan Mandel and what lemons can do for you. It's a whole lot, and I'm still learning it. But I'm incorporating lemons into everything that I can. Water, tea. I make a nighttime tea with chamomile, lemon. I do fresh squeezed lemons, ginger, a little bit of honey, and it's great. I've had a problem with insomnia pretty much 30 years, 40 years maybe. I'm going to sleep, I'm staying asleep. I'm not saying this is the lemons, I'm saying this is probably the sugar. If you do quit coffee, you need to find a replacement with caffeine, because you will get a caffeine headache from not putting that in your body when it's used to it. So that's where the tea takes place for me. I would just really encourage you to do some research, watch some other videos. Like I say, Alan Mandel Eric Berg, another great teacher, much more than what I can tell you. I can just share my results. And whatever I can do to encourage you, please leave a comment, ask a question. Don't hesitate. We'll all learn from one another. I'd love to see people start commenting and posting what they are getting from this. You can also go on our new page, Runaway Homestead with Kim and Perry King. You can join there. We'd love to have you along. That's more away from our personal Facebook pages. Trying to stay around the homesteading thing, even though this isn't homesteading, but you got to be healthy and you got to be physical to homestead, no doubt. My end, most of the homesteading is the sawmill. I'm going to be more into the gardens this year because I feel better. So, like I say, don't hesitate to ask questions, leave comments, and if you like this, I just ask you please share with friends and hit a thumbs up for us. And we will see you next time, and we really appreciate you sharing your time with me. Thanks a lot, guys. Do spend a little time searching out good carbs versus bad. That is important. And there's a lot of good carbs out there. So again, thanks for your time, and we'll see you soon.